Hi everybody! So I'm sitting outside today because I decided I wanted to do a project that was a little bit messy. I decided I wanted to plant some seeds. Now, I like planting outside, but if you can't get outside to plant and you want to plant inside, the best idea is to put something down on the ground like a plastic garbage bag or a tarp or a dirty towel. You guys don't care if it gets a little messy. That way, if any of the dirt that you need to plant your seeds spill, it's easy to clean up and the floor doesn't get all messy. But if you can get outside, it's so nice to be outside to plant. Today, I'm going to plant some seeds. That way we can watch how they grow and we can see how they change over time. Now, the seeds I'm going to plant are called marigolds. Marigolds are some of my favorite flowers. You see them? They're so bright and colorful, and I think it would be great to bring some bright and colorful flowers into my house. So I have some pots. I have one blue pot and one white pot that has some flowers on it. Now, however many pots you have is however many plants you can make. Now, something else you can do too, which I saw this cool project, is if you don't have a pot yet, but you're planning on getting one, you can use eggshells. And you can get seeds to start growing in an eggshell in the egg carton. That way, when you do get a pot, all you have to do is scoop up the little eggshell and put it in your pot. But since I already have my pots, I'm going to put the seeds right inside. If you want to plant too, you're going to need seeds, pot, soil, some water, plastic wrap, and I like to use some rocks. Now, the reason I like to use some rocks is because one day my grandmother told me that if you plant seeds, the seeds like when there's rocks in the dirt. The reason is because if you were to go outside and dig a hole, you would actually find rocks all throughout the dirt. The rocks help the rain or the water move through the dirt. That way, it's easier for the roots from all the plants to share the water. A plant doesn't want too much water. If it has too much water, it gets sick. And a plant, if it doesn't have enough water, can get sick. Putting some rocks helps the water move around so that they don't get too much or not enough water. So I have my two pots, and the first thing I'm going to do is take some rocks that I scooped up. I found some big rocks, and I'm going to put them at the bottom of my pots. That way, when I put in my dirt, it's easier for the water to move around on the inside. Now, just so you know, the more rocks you put, the heavier your pot gets. So just be careful that it's not so heavy you can't carry it anymore. Alright, now I have my rocks in there. And the next thing you need to do, the second step, first step was rocks, second step is to get some dirt. I have my dirt right here, my soil, and I'm going to scoop it up. And I'm going to put it inside my pots. Now, you don't need to put so much dirt that it's falling out of the pot. But if you don't put enough, there's not going to be enough space for the roots to grow. So you want to put some dirt in there. Put it near the top, but it doesn't need to be overflowing. You don't need to have a mountain in there. I think this is the last big scoop of dirt I need. Now look, I have dirt in my blue pot and dirt in my white pot. Now I can use the seeds. I have two different types of marigolds. These are big ones. They grow 2 or 3 feet. That means they can be this big if they wanted to. So if a plant is big, it has bigger roots. So I'm going to put one seed by itself in the big pot. That way, if it grows super big, it has super lots of space. That way the roots have room. So you're going to make a little hole, right, with your finger? And you put a seed in. Make a little hole and put a seed. And you want to make sure that they're covered just a little bit. They don't have to be too deep, just a little bit. They want to be a little bit close to the surface. That way they can feel the warm sun, right? Because plants need water and sun. Now, the other marigolds I have are not very big. These are tiny. They only get to be like that big. So I can put a few more. But I do want to spread them a little bit. So I'm going to make a couple different holes. That way they can be neighbors. We have neighbors, right? People that live next to us. So I'm going to put some seeds next to each other. So it's like they are some neighbors. And I'm going to let them grow. So all the seeds are covered. I'm going to show you. See? You can't see any of the seeds, but they're in there. Now that I have the seeds in the dirt, you have to get some water, right? You don't need to put too much. I like to put my hand here and let the water sprinkle through my fingers because I don't have a watering can. Now it doesn't need to be too wet, but it does need to be wet enough that all the seeds that you put have some water to drink. Now before I put this someplace sunny, like a windowsill, there's one more thing I have to do. And this is something else my grandmother told me to do. Plants, especially seeds, like when it's warm. Now in April we get a lot of showers and it can be a little cloudy and it might not always be warm. So there's something you can do to help the seeds feel nice and toasty. Now a mommy chicken sits on her eggs to keep the eggs warm so the eggs hatch. What you can do with plants is take some plastic wrap and you put it over your pot and it makes something called a greenhouse. And so when the sun shines, it gets all toasty in the pot. But the plastic keeps the toastiness inside and it makes the seeds grow a little bit faster. So I'm going to put some plastic over my pots. And then I'm going to put them in the window and let them grow. As they grow, I'll give you some updates. I'll show you pictures of what they look like. That way you can see how they're growing and their roots and the sprouts and the leaves and the petals and all the different colors. If you grow any plants, I can't wait to see what they look like. All right, everybody. Bye.